My 29F girlfriend of 3 years has been cheating with a married pro athlete. How do I leave before she finds out I know? I don't want her to manipulate me into it. Hey Reddit. I could really use some advice here because I'm completely blindsided and trying to figure out my next steps. I'm hoping to get some perspective on how to handle this because I can't believe I'm in this situation right now. Let me start with a bit of background. My girlfriend, let's call her Amy, and I have been together for 3 years. I'm a 30-year-old guy, pretty laid back and not someone who enjoys drama. Amy and I have had a good relationship, at least I thought so. We live together in a nice apartment, share bills, and I was even starting to think about proposing soon. I thought we had a future together. Recently, though, things started feeling off. Amy's been more distant, acting strange, and always glued to her phone. She's always been social and has friends who are pro athletes, as she works in PR for a major sports agency. So, it never struck me as unusual when she'd mention hanging out with some big names for work functions or events. But lately, her work meetings have become way more frequent, and she's been secretive about them. Last week, I saw a text flash on her phone while she was in the shower, and curiosity got the best of me. I know snooping is wrong, but something felt wrong. I took a look and found an entire thread between her and this pro athlete I'll call Mike. Mike's married, he's got kids, and he's famous enough that you'd recognize his name. In those texts, it was pretty clear they weren't just talking business. The messages were explicit, filled with talk of meetups, and even "I miss you" thrown in there. At that moment, I felt my stomach drop. I couldn't believe what I was reading. I didn't confront her then and there, though. I was in shock. I didn't know what to say, so I just left it. Since then, I've been trying to act normal, but it's eating me up inside. Here's the thing, though I know Amy. She's always been incredibly charming and persuasive. I'm honestly worried that if I confront her without a plan, she'll twist it around or convince me to stay, telling me she made a mistake or that it wasn't what it looked like. I've seen her talk her way out of things with friends and even her own family when she messes up, and I know I'm vulnerable to that. I need to leave, but I want to do it in a way where I don't get caught up in her excuses or manipulations. So, Reddit, I need advice on 2 fronts. How do I leave without tipping her off that I know? And how do I make sure I can actually go through with this without giving in to her charm or the inevitable tears? Update. Hey everyone. Thanks for the advice and support on my first post. Reading your responses gave me the courage to start making some moves, and I'm feeling a bit more solid about my decision now. A few of you mentioned securing my finances and belongings before anything else, which is solid advice I hadn't thought of. So, I started taking small steps. Over the last couple of days, I've been slowly packing things that are personal to me, like sentimental items and important documents. I'm trying to do it in a way that won't arouse suspicion, packing things up and storing them in my car for now. I've also gone through our shared finances and made sure I'm not leaving myself vulnerable. Amy doesn't notice much around the apartment, so as long as I'm subtle, I think I can get away with this prep without her knowing. I also did some digging and found out that Mike's family is active on social media. It's surreal seeing photos of him with his wife and kids, knowing what he's up to on the side. Part of me feels like I should tell his wife, but another part of me doesn't want to get involved in their family drama. I'm struggling with that decision, though would it be fair to her to not know? But if I did tell her, that could blow up and alert Amy that I know about the affair. It's tricky. I've decided that I'll confront her once I've moved most of my stuff out. I know she's got a work trip in a couple of days, which probably means she's meeting Mike. That should give me a chance to move out the majority of my things and prepare for the inevitable confrontation. I'm dreading it, but at least I'm starting to feel like I have a plan. Another update. Hey again Reddit. Just a quick update since a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. Amy left this morning for her work trip. Once she was out the door, I spent the entire day packing up the rest of my things and loading them into my car. I feel strange, like I'm robbing my own place, but there's also a relief in taking action. I also went ahead and sorted out the lease transfer with my landlord. I told him I was moving for a new job opportunity. Luckily, I found a temporary place with a friend who was cool enough to let me crash for a bit. I've decided not to tell Mike's wife. I don't want to get tangled up in more drama than I'm already in, and honestly, I don't need the stress of dealing with fallout from his personal life. Some of you made good points that it's not really my responsibility, and I just need to focus on getting myself out of this mess. I'm pretty nervous for Amy's return tomorrow. I know she'll notice my things are missing right away, and I'll have to tell her I know everything. I'm not sure how she'll react, and I'm mentally preparing myself for the manipulation tactics and emotional outbursts. I have a note ready, just in case I chicken out in person, but I'm really hoping I can say what I need to say face to face. Final update. Hey Reddit. Here's the final update. Thanks again for being there through all of this. Amy came home late last night. I was waiting in the living room when she walked in, and she looked surprised to see me. I guess she assumed I'd be asleep or gone. When she noticed the empty spaces where my stuff used to be, her face went pale. I kept calm and told her that I knew about her and Mike. I explained how I'd found out, and that I'd already moved out and didn't want to continue the relationship. At first, she was quiet. Then, just as I expected, the tears came. She started saying it wasn't what it looked like, that she and Mike were just really close friends, and that she'd never actually planned to leave me. She tried to tell me how much she loved me, and how she'd made a mistake, but honestly, I'd prepared myself for this. I told her that nothing she said could change what I saw in those texts. She kept trying, though. She went from apologetic to angry to begging. It was exhausting, but I held my ground. I told her that this was goodbye and left. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but once I was in my car and driving to my friend's place, I felt a strange peace. I don't regret the years we spent together, but I know I deserve better than a partner.